Chosen one, are you tired of crying out to God and hearing nothing back? Are you exhausted from waiting for a breakthrough that feels like it's never coming? Have you ever wondered if God has forgotten your name, forgotten your pain, forgotten the promises He whispered to your heart in the darkest nights? Listen to me, chosen one. What if I told you that every tear you've shed, every midnight prayer you've whispered, every moment you've felt abandoned, what if all of it has been leading to this exact moment, this exact date? Today is no ordinary day, this 9th of July. Heaven has circled it in red, not with ink, but with the blood of the Lamb. This isn't just another date on your calendar. This is a divine appointment that's been written in the courts of heaven since before you drew your first breath. You're not here by accident. You didn't stumble upon this message. You were summoned. God spoke your name in the spirit realm and said, "Bring them here, now, today." Their exodus begins. This isn't fireworks in the sky, it's freedom exploding in your soul. This isn't about national independence. This is about your personal liberation from everything that's held you captive. The chains of generational curses, the prison of past failures, the wilderness of wandering without purpose. You've cried, you've waited, you've questioned. But have you been listening? Because God has been preparing something behind the scenes that will shatter every limitation the enemy has placed over your life. You're not wandering in circles anymore. You're marching toward destiny. Every detour, every delay, every disappointment has been positioning you for this moment when heaven says, "Enough. My child comes out now." If this found you today, if your spirit is stirring right now, if something deep inside you is awakening, comment "I receive" below. Don't hesitate, don't analyze, just declare it. Let heaven hear your voice align with His will. And let me know where you're watching from. Comment your city, your state. Let us mark the map where freedom begins. From New York to California, from Texas to Alaska, let's watch God move across this nation, city by city, heart by heart. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and plant that seed. Watch God multiply it back to you. Your exodus starts now. Are you ready to leave Egypt behind? Why did God let you walk through 40 years of wilderness when He could have given you the promised land in 40 days? Why did He allow that marriage to crumble when you prayed harder than you'd ever prayed before? Why did He watch you bury dreams, lose opportunities, and wonder if your best years were behind you? Chosen one, I need you to lean in close, because what I'm about to tell you will shatter every lie the enemy has whispered about your delayed destiny. For decades, you've been asking the wrong question. You've been asking, "Why me?" when you should have been asking, "Why now?" You see, there's a profound difference between God being silent and God being strategic. There's a sacred distinction between abandonment and appointment. Every senior saint listening to my voice right now knows the weight of unanswered prayers. You know what it feels like to stand at your kitchen window at 3 a.m., looking up at stars that seem cold and distant, wondering if heaven has forgotten your zip code. But what if I told you that silence wasn't God's absence? What if that wilderness wasn't God's punishment? What if every closed door, every delayed blessing, every season of waiting was actually God marking you for something the younger generation could never carry? Think about Moses, 80 years old when God called him from a burning bush. 80, when most men his age were sitting on porches telling stories about their glory days. God was saying, "Moses, your greatest chapter is about to begin." But here's what we miss. Those 80 years weren't wasted time. They were preparation time. God was burning away everything that couldn't go with him into his calling. Joseph spent 13 years in a pit and a prison before he touched a palace. 13 years of asking God, where are you? But Genesis 41-46 tells us Joseph was 30 when he stood before Pharaoh. He needed those years of suffering to develop the character required to handle the authority God was about to give him. And Job, the man who lost everything, his children, his wealth, his health, his reputation, his friends told him to curse God and die. His wife questioned his faith. But Job 42-12 declares, "The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part." The pain didn't disqualify him. It marked him. You've been marked too. Every tear you've cried has been collected in heaven's bottle. Every prayer you've whispered in the dark has been recorded in God's court. Every disappointment that broke your heart was actually breaking you open for a blessing too big for your former capacity. The silence you've endured wasn't God's neglect. It was your incubation. Just like a caterpillar must dissolve completely in the cocoon before it emerges as a butterfly, God has been dissolving your old limitations, your small thinking, your survival mentality. He's been preparing you to fly when you thought you could barely crawl. You thought you were too old. God says you're finally ready. You thought you were forgotten. God says you were being forged. You thought your season was over. God says your season is just beginning. Right now, as you're listening to these words, something is shifting in the spirit realm. Can you feel it? That stirring in your chest isn't heartburn from dinner. That's the Holy Spirit awakening something that's been dormant for decades. That's God saying, the time of preparation is over. The time of manifestation has come. Before you were born, before you took your first breath, before you made your first mistake, God set you apart. Jeremiah 1-5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." You weren't an accident. You weren't plan B. You were specifically chosen, specifically called, specifically marked for this exact moment in history. Your chains have expiration dates, and today, the 9th of July, they break. Not because you've earned it, not because you've finally gotten your act together, but because God has declared that your season of limitation is over and your season of liberation has begun. The door that wouldn't open 20 years ago, it was protecting you from a blessing you weren't ready to steward. The opportunity that slipped through your fingers, God was repositioning you for something greater. The dreams that seemed to die, they were seeds going underground, developing roots deep enough to support the harvest that's coming. Every senior listening to my voice needs to understand this. You are not too late. You are right on time. You are not behind schedule. You are positioned for purpose. The devil convinced you that your youth was your power, but God is about to show you that your experience is your authority. This 9th of July isn't just another summer day. It's your burning bush moment. It's when God calls you out of the wilderness of waiting and into the promised land of purpose. Moses was 80 when his real work began. Colonel Sanders was 65 when he founded KFC. Laura Ingalls Wilder didn't publish her first Little House book until she was 65. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 78. Your age isn't your limitation, it's your qualification. Your scars aren't your disqualification, they're your credentials. Your pain wasn't your punishment, it was your preparation. Say it out loud right now, wherever you are. Say it with conviction, say it with authority. I was marked, I will move. Because what happens next in your story will make everyone who counted you out stand up and take notice. Chosen one, I need to tell you something that's going to shake you to your core. You think Egypt is a place on a map. You think it's ancient history, dusty pyramids, and Hollywood movies. But I'm here to shatter that illusion right now. Egypt is not a geography. Egypt is a psychology. Egypt is the prison you've built in your own mind, and you've been living there so long you think it's normal. You've hung pictures on the walls of your captivity and called it realistic expectations. You've put a welcome mat at the door of your limitations and convinced yourself it's wisdom. Listen to me carefully. The Egypt that's holding you captive today isn't made of bricks and mortar. It's made of thoughts. It's made of beliefs. It's made of the lies you've told yourself for so long that they've become your truth. For some of you, Egypt looks like regret. You're trapped in a prison cell called what if. What if I had taken that job? What if I had said yes to love? What if I had followed that dream when I was younger? You've been serving a life sentence for crimes you never committed, punishing yourself for choices that can't be undone. For others, Egypt is shame. It's the voice that whispers, "You're too old now. You've made too many mistakes. God can't use damaged goods." You've been wearing chains forged from your own guilt, carrying a weight that Christ already lifted at Calvary 2,000 years ago. And for many of you watching right now, Egypt is fear. Raw, paralyzing fear that masquerades as prudence. I'm being careful, you tell yourself. I'm being smart. But what you're really being is afraid. Afraid to step out. Afraid to believe God meant those promises for you. Afraid that if you reach for more, you'll lose what little you have. But here's what's going to blow your mind today. Pharaoh is not a man in a golden crown sitting on a throne in ancient Egypt. Pharaoh is the voice in your head that says, "You missed your moment." Pharaoh is the internal dictator that keeps you enslaved to yesterday's failures and tomorrow's fears. Pharaoh says, "You're 72 years old. Your time has passed." But God says, "Moses was 80 when I sent him to deliver a nation." Pharaoh says, "You don't have enough education, enough money, enough connections." But God says, "I chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise." 1 Corinthians 1:27. You've decorated the dungeon and called it home. You've painted the prison walls and hung family photos on them. You've made peace with your captivity because breaking free feels more dangerous than staying bound. But here's the most shocking truth I'm going to tell you today. You're not locked in, you're just not moving. The door to your Egypt has been open this entire time. Christ didn't just unlock it when he died on the cross. He ripped it off the hinges. The question isn't whether you can leave. The question is whether you will. In John 8:36, Jesus declares, "So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." Not partially free, not eventually free. Free indeed, right now, this moment. But freedom requires movement, and movement requires courage. How many years have you been complaining about the same problems? How many decades have you been praying the same prayers? How many conversations have you had about what you wish was different in your life, but you keep returning to the same mental Egypt every single night? The Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years because they couldn't get Egypt out of their minds. They were physically free, but mentally enslaved. They kept looking back, remembering the food, forgetting the whips. They romanticized their captivity because the unknown felt more terrifying than the familiar. Are you doing the same thing? Are you so accustomed to your mental chains that you've forgotten what freedom feels like? Listen to what God told Moses in Exodus 3-8. "So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land, into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey." God didn't deliver Israel just to get them out of something. He delivered them to get them into something. Your exodus isn't just about leaving Egypt behind. It's about entering the promises that have been waiting for you. But first, you have to stop making excuses for why you can't leave. Stop justifying why you have to stay stuck. Stop explaining to God why his timing is wrong and your limitations are real. The most dangerous place you can be is comfortable in your captivity. When prison starts feeling like home, when bondage becomes your normal, when you stop believing that freedom is possible for someone like you. But on this 9th of July, heaven is declaring war on every mental Egypt that has held you hostage. God is saying, "Let my people go," not just physically, but mentally. Not just externally, but internally. The chains you've been wearing were never real. They were suggestions that you accepted as commands. The walls you've been staring at were never solid. They were illusions that you treated as obstacles. Today, right now, in this very moment, I'm telling you what Moses told Pharaoh. Let my people go, let yourself go, let your dreams go, let your purpose go. Let your destiny go free from the Egypt of your own making. Write in the comments right now. No more pharaohs. Tag someone who needs to hear that today. Stop allowing the voice of limitation to be the loudest voice in your life. Because what I'm about to show you next will prove that God has been preparing a path out of your Egypt that you never saw coming. A way that's so miraculous, so unexpected, that you'll wonder why you stayed in captivity for so long. Are you ready to see how God parts the Red Sea of impossibility in your life? Beloved, look at me. Right now, in this very moment, you are standing exactly where the children of Israel stood over 3,000 years ago. You can feel it, can't you? That impossible wall of water rising before you. That crushing weight of everything that's been holding you back, towering like a mountain you could never climb. But here's what I need you to understand about that Red Sea moment. The Israelites didn't part those waters with their own strength. They didn't strategize their way across. They didn't wait until they felt brave enough, or strong enough, or worthy enough. They simply walked when God said walk. Listen to me carefully. Exodus 14:15-16 records the exact moment when everything changed. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground." Did you catch that? God didn't say, "Stand here and pray harder." He didn't say, "Wait until you understand the plan." He said, "Missouri v. on." How many years have you been standing at the edge of your Red Sea? How many nights have you stared at that impossible situation in your life, crying out to God, begging Him to remove the obstacle? Your failing health, your broken relationships, your financial struggles, your depression that feels deeper than the ocean itself. You've been waiting for God to change your circumstances. But what if God is waiting for you to trust Him enough to step forward while the circumstances are still impossible? This 9th of July is not about what you can do. It's about what you believe enough to obey. The enemy has convinced you that you need to see the path before you take the step. But faith doesn't work that way. Faith steps into the unknown because it knows WHO holds the unknown. Right now, as I'm speaking these words, there are senior citizens across America sitting in their homes, feeling like their best days are behind them, feeling like they've missed their chance, feeling like the Red Sea in front of them is too wide, too deep, too impossible to cross. But let me tell you something that will shake the very foundations of your doubt. God isn't asking you to swim across. He's about to part what's blocking you. The same God who split the Red Sea for Moses is looking at your impossible situation right now and saying, "Watch me work." Your age isn't a limitation to Him. Your past failures aren't disqualifications. Your current circumstances aren't permanent sentences. In Exodus 14:21, we see the mechanics of the miracle. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided. All night long, God was working. While they slept, while they worried, while they wondered if morning would ever come, the Almighty was rearranging the impossible. But here's the part that will change everything for you. Verse 22 says, "And the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with a wall of water on their right and on their left." They didn't wade through mud. They didn't struggle through puddles. They walked on dry ground while walls of water stood at attention like soldiers obeying their commander. What has been your Red Sea? What mountain has been mocking you, telling you that you're too old, too tired, too broken to see victory? That diagnosis that stole your peace, that relationship that shattered your trust, that dream that died when you thought it was too late to resurrect it. God is about to part it. Not because you deserve it, not because you've earned it, but because He is faithful to His promises. And His promises don't have expiration dates, but you must be willing to take the first step while the water is still standing. You must be willing to move forward while everything in your natural mind is screaming, "This is impossible." The Israelites could have stood there all day analyzing the situation. They could have formed committees to study the water patterns. They could have waited for better weather conditions. But instead, they heard the voice of God through Moses, and they moved. Your obedience is the key that unlocks the supernatural. This 9th of July, God is positioning you for your own Red Sea miracle. The thing that has been your greatest obstacle is about to become your greatest testimony. The situation that has caused you the most tears is about to generate the most praise. But you cannot receive a miracle you're not willing to walk toward. Take a piece of paper right now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until you finish watching this video. Take a piece of paper and write today's date, the 9th of July. Underneath it, write these words: "My Exodus begins today." Put it somewhere you can see it. Tape it to your bathroom mirror. Put it on your refrigerator. Slip it into your Bible, because this is your covenant moment with God. This is your declaration that you're done standing at the water's edge, wondering if it will ever part. The sea is about to split wide open, and you're going to walk through on dry ground. The walls of impossibility are about to become walls of protection as you march toward your promised land. Your Red Sea moment isn't coming, it's here. The question is, will you step forward, or will you spend another year wondering what could have been? Chosen one, I need you to lean in close for what I'm about to tell you, because what you've been calling your wilderness season, what you've been naming your detour, what you've been cursing as your delay, God has been calling your boot camp. You see, there's something the enemy doesn't want you to understand about your journey. He wants you to believe that every closed door was rejection, that every unanswered prayer was abandonment, that every long night of waiting was God's silence. But what if I told you that the very thing you thought was working against you has been working for you all along? Look with me at Exodus 13, verses 17 and 18. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though that was shorter. For God said, if they face war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God led the people around by the desert road toward the Red Sea. Did you catch that? God deliberately chose the longer route, not because he enjoyed watching his people suffer, not because he forgot the way, but because he knew something they didn't know. He knew that the shortcut would have destroyed them. Sometimes God takes you the long way, not to test your patience, but to train your faith. Not to punish your past, but to prepare you for your promise. The wilderness wasn't God's mistake. It was God's method. You've been in that place, haven't you? Where you cried out, God, why is this taking so long? Why won't you just open the door? Why won't you just heal the hurt? Why won't you just send the breakthrough? And in those moments of desperation, you wondered if God had lost your address, if he'd forgotten your name, if maybe, just maybe, you weren't as chosen as you thought. But listen to me carefully. God didn't forget the Israelites in the wilderness. Exodus tells us he was with them in the cloud by day and the fire by night. He fed them manna from heaven every single morning. Their shoes didn't wear out. Their clothes didn't fade. For 40 years, God sustained them in a place where nothing should have survived. The same God who provided for them in the desert is providing for you in yours. The same God who guided them with his presence is guiding you with his peace. You haven't been abandoned in your wilderness. You've been attended to. But here's what will revolutionize how you see your journey. The wilderness wasn't just about getting the Israelites out of Egypt. It was about getting Egypt out of the Israelites. You can take a slave out of bondage in a day, but it takes time to take the bondage out of the slave. They had to unlearn 400 years of oppression. They had to stop thinking like victims and start walking like victors. They had to trade their slave mentality for a conqueror's mindset. And that transformation, that metamorphosis, that only happens in the wilderness. What if what you thought was wasted time was your boot camp for breakthrough? What if those years you felt stuck were actually the years God was strengthening you? What if the delays you despised were actually building the discipline you'd need for your destiny? Isaiah 55:8 reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." God's GPS doesn't always make sense to our natural minds. His routes seem longer, his timing seems slower, his methods seem stranger, but his destinations are always perfect. You've been questioning God's timing, you've been challenging his routes, you've been frustrated with his methods. But what if God has been protecting you from battles you weren't ready to fight? What if he's been developing muscles in you that you didn't even know you needed? What if every wilderness experience has been adding another layer of strength, another degree of faith, another dimension of wisdom? The Israelites who left Egypt weren't the same Israelites who entered the Promised Land. The scared slaves who escaped Pharaoh became the fierce warriors who conquered Canaan. The wilderness didn't weaken them, it weaponized them. And you're not the same person who entered your wilderness season. The pain you've endured has produced perseverance. The tests you've survived have strengthened your testimony. The nights you've wrestled with God have built your spiritual muscles. You didn't just survive the wilderness, you were shaped by it. Every closed door taught you discernment. Every delayed blessing taught you patience. Every unanswered prayer taught you trust. Every lonely season taught you that your relationship with God is enough. The wilderness wasn't your punishment, it was your preparation. Right now, I can feel some of you pushing back. But Pastor, you don't understand how long I've been waiting. You don't know how deep the pain goes. You don't see how stuck I feel. And you're right. I don't know your specific story, but I know your God. And the same God who never left the Israelites in their wilderness has never left you in yours. You think you've been wandering aimlessly, but God has been walking you purposefully. You think you've been going in circles, but God has been leading you in spirals, each level taking you higher than the last. You think you've been lost, but God has been locating you exactly where you need to be for such a time as this. The wilderness isn't where dreams go to die. It's where they go to multiply. It's not where vision gets buried. It's where it gets birthed. It's not where purpose gets lost. It's where it gets found. But this next part, this is what I believe you were meant to hear. Because your wilderness season, it's about to end. Chosen one, I need to tell you something that's going to shake you to your core. While you've been crying in secret, while you've been wondering if anyone sees your struggle, while you've been questioning if God has forgotten your address, someone with incredible influence has been watching your every move. Not watching to judge you, not watching to condemn you, but watching to promote you. You think you're invisible, don't you? You think your pain goes unnoticed. You think your faithfulness in the dark doesn't matter because no human eye witnesses it. But what if I told you that there's a divine surveillance system operating right now, and you are the primary subject of investigation? What if I told you that someone you've never met, someone with power you can't imagine, someone with connections that reach into the highest levels of influence, has been given an assignment by God Himself to watch over your breakthrough? Listen to me carefully. In Genesis 41, we read about a man named Joseph, forgotten in prison, betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused, rotting in a dungeon while others lived their dreams. For 13 long years, it seemed like God had completely abandoned him. 13 years of wondering, why me? Where is the God who gave me those dreams? But here's what Joseph didn't know. While he was counting prison walls, Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the known world, was having dreams that would change everything. Dreams that only Joseph could interpret. Dreams that would catapult a prisoner into a prime minister in a single day. You see, God had positioned Joseph in that prison, not as punishment, but as preparation. Every injustice, every betrayal, every lonely night was building the character that would manage a nation. And when heaven's timing aligned, the same Pharaoh who had never heard Joseph's name suddenly couldn't sleep without hearing Joseph's wisdom. Now hear me, chosen one. Right now, at this very moment, there are people in positions of power who don't even know your name yet. But God has already whispered it to their spirit. There are CEOs, there are government officials, there are ministry leaders, there are entrepreneurs who are about to receive divine downloads about you. They're going to have dreams about opportunities that only you can fulfill. They're going to feel supernatural compulsions to seek out someone with your exact gifting, your exact background, your exact testimony. They're going to wake up one morning with your name burning in their heart, not knowing why. Heaven is positioning people you haven't met yet for assignments you haven't imagined yet. God is orchestrating meetings that will happen so suddenly, so unexpectedly, that you'll know it could only be Him. But here's the question that should terrify you and exhilarate you at the same time. Are you ready for that meeting? Are you prepared for the moment when that door swings open? Are you spiritually positioned for the conversation that will change your bloodline forever? Because let me tell you something that's going to hit you like lightning. You're not being overlooked. You're being reserved. Every rejection you faced, every door that slammed in your face, every opportunity that seemed perfect but didn't work out, that wasn't God punishing you. That was God protecting you from settling for less than His best. He's been keeping you hidden, not because you're forgotten, but because you're being saved for something so significant that He couldn't risk you getting distracted by smaller assignments. He's been keeping you in the shadows, not because you're not ready for light, but because the spotlight He's preparing is so bright that you needed time to develop the spiritual retina to handle it. Think about this. Joseph could have been released from prison at any time. But if he had been freed in year 1, he wouldn't have been ready for Pharaoh. If he had been vindicated in year 5, he wouldn't have had the depth to manage Egypt's economy. The timing wasn't cruel, it was calculated. Every year in that prison was a year of preparation for a position he couldn't have imagined. Right now, someone with influence is about to receive a divine assignment with your name on it. Someone is about to be awakened at 3 a.m. with a vision of you fulfilling a role they didn't even know they needed to fill. Someone is about to walk into a boardroom, a church meeting, a conference call, and your name is going to roll off their tongue like prophecy. The question is not if this meeting will happen. The question is, will you be ready when it does? If this feels like it's for you, if something in your spirit is leaping right now, type, "I'm ready for the meeting." Don't think about it. Don't analyze it. Just declare it. Because your declaration today becomes your destiny tomorrow. Your divine meeting is closer than you think. Are you prepared for the conversation that will change everything? Chosen one, I need you to stop everything right now and listen to what heaven is declaring over your life. For too long, you've been trapped in the prison of perfect timing. You've been waiting for the stars to align, for your feelings to catch up, for circumstances to improve before you step into what God has already prepared for you. But God is thundering from His throne today. No more delay. You want to know why you've been stuck? Why breakthrough feels like it's always just out of reach? Because you've been waiting on God when God has been waiting on you. Your miracle isn't sitting in heaven's warehouse collecting dust. It's standing at your door, knocking, waiting for you to open it with one simple word, yes. Listen to what Joel 2:25 declares. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when you feel ready. God is saying He will restore the lost years now. Every setback, every disappointment, every moment you thought was wasted, God is about to give it all back to you with interest. But here's what's stopping most people. They're paralyzed by the spirit of procrastination. They're waiting for a feeling, waiting for a sign, waiting for courage they think they don't have. Let me shatter that lie right now. Your courage isn't supposed to come before your obedience. Your courage comes through your obedience. The Israelites didn't feel brave when they walked toward the Red Sea. They felt terrified, but they walked anyway. And in their walking, God parted the waters. Your breakthrough doesn't require your confidence, it requires your movement. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Those plans aren't on hold. They're not waiting for you to get your life together. They're active right now, moving toward you at the speed of your faith. You've been asking God to open doors, but God is asking you, will you walk through the ones I've already opened? How many opportunities have you let slip by because you were waiting for a perfect moment that will never come? No more waiting on perfect timing. The moment is now. The cloud is moving. In Exodus 12:31, Pharaoh finally cried out, "Up, leave my people, you and the Israelites. Go, worship the Lord as you have requested." After 430 years of bondage, freedom came in a single night. Not gradually, not slowly, instantly. That same urgency is in the atmosphere right now. Heaven is not whispering anymore, it's shouting, "Get up, get out, get moving." Your Egypt season is over. The door isn't cracked open, it's blown off its hinges. God isn't giving you a suggestion, He's giving you a command. And when God commands, the universe rearranges itself to make it happen. But here's the revelation that will change everything. This is not just deliverance, this is inheritance. God isn't just bringing you out of something, He's bringing you into something. You're not just escaping Egypt, you're entering your promised land. You're not just surviving, you're about to thrive in ways that will make your past pain look like preparation for present glory. The land flowing with milk and honey isn't a metaphor. It's your reality. The abundance, the peace, the purpose, the power, it's all waiting for you on the other side of your yes. So I'm going to count to 3, and when I'm done, you're going to do something that will shift the atmosphere around your life forever. You're going to speak out loud, not whisper, not think it, but declare it with authority. 1. Your voice has power to break chains. 2. Your words create your reality. 3. Speak it now. I'm leaving Egypt. I'm walking into promise. No more delay, no more excuses. This is my exodus. This is my inheritance. In Jesus' name. Did you feel that? That wasn't just words. That was warfare. You just declared war on everything that's held you back, and heaven heard every syllable. But declaring it is just the beginning. Now comes the walking. Now comes the believing. Now comes the stepping into everything God has prepared for the rest of your life. Are you ready to discover what's been waiting for you in the promised land? Chosen one, as we close this sacred moment together, I want you to remember 3 unshakable truths that will carry you through whatever lies ahead. First, this, the 9th of July, isn't just another date. It's your divine appointment with destiny. Heaven has marked this day as the beginning of your personal exodus. The chains you've carried, the limitations you've accepted, the dreams you've buried, they have no power over your future anymore. Second, your waiting season wasn't wasted time. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of doubt was preparing you for this breakthrough. God wasn't silent. He was working behind the scenes, arranging every detail of your deliverance. Third, you are not walking this journey alone. The same God who parted the Red Sea for Moses, who delivered Daniel from the lion's den, who raised Jesus from the grave, that same mighty God is walking with you. His hand is on your life, His Spirit is within you, and His promises are your inheritance. But here's what I need you to understand. You're not just part of this community by accident. God brought you here because He knew you needed to hear these words today. And there are others watching right now who feel exactly like you do, uncertain, weary, wondering if their breakthrough will ever come. You are surrounded by a family of believers who understand your struggle because they've walked this path too. In the comments below, I want you to share where you're watching from and what God spoke to your heart today. Don't hold back. Your testimony might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. When you share your story, you're not just encouraging others, you're declaring God's faithfulness over your own life. Let me ask you this. If God has brought you this far, through every storm you thought would destroy you, through every valley you thought would swallow you, don't you think He can carry you the rest of the way? Now, Let me pray over you with the authority of someone who has watched God move mountains in impossible situations. Heavenly Father, I place my hand on the shoulder of every person hearing this prayer right now. You see them, Lord. You know their pain, their struggles, their secret fears, and their hidden dreams. Today, we declare that their Egypt season is over. Every chain of addiction, depression, poverty, loneliness, and fear, we command it to break in Jesus' name. Father, pour out your supernatural peace over their hearts right now. Let them feel your presence so strongly that every doubt melts away. Open doors that no man can shut. Provide in ways that defy human logic. Heal what seems broken beyond repair. Restore what was stolen. Resurrect what appeared dead. We thank you that you're not just their Savior. You're their Father, their Provider, their Protector, their Waymaker. Surround them with divine connections, godly relationships, and supernatural opportunities. Let favor follow them everywhere they go. Give them wisdom to recognize your voice above all the noise of this world. And Lord, when they look back on this day, months from now, let them remember it as the moment everything changed. Let this be their testimony. That was the day I stopped waiting and started walking. That was the day my exodus began. Thank you for watching this entire message. Your time is precious, and you chose to spend it seeking God's heart. That tells me everything I need to know about your character. If this touched your soul, subscribe to this channel and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we're building a community of believers who refuse to settle for less than God's best. Your promised land is closer than you think. Keep walking, chosen one. Your exodus has already begun.